Hello everyone, welcome from ISF College of Pharmacy. I, Dr. Saurabh Kose, on behalf of IQAC and ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga, Punjab, welcomes you all. As you know that ISF College of Pharmacy is conducting online dialogue series in which eminent pharmaceutical scientists pan India as well as abroad are coming onto this platform and delivering their oration regarding research. In that similar context, we today have very eminent speaker with us. Today we have Professor Geer Mohammad Ishaq sir, who is currently serving as Professor, University of Kashmir, as well as Additional Director, Center for Career Planning and Counseling, University of Kashmir. So without taking much time, I would like to read out the bio sketch of Sir. Professor Geer is presently holding the situation of Professor at Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences, University of Kashmir over last 2 decades. At present, he holds the additional charge of Director, Center for Career Planning and Counseling, University of Kashmir. Prior to joining University of Kashmir, Professor Geer has served as a Drug Control Officer of Drugs and Food Control Organization DFCO Jammu and Kashmir for a period of 3 years. Professor Geer has completed his post-graduation in pharmacology from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka with distinction, and his doctorate from in the same subject from the University of Kashmir. He has been instrumental in designing and starting a PG program in pharmacy practice in 2009 and is presently serving as in charge of this PG program offered by the University of Kashmir. Professor Geer has earlier served as coordinator of UCG Human Resource Development Center HRDC of the University of Kashmir for a period of 5 years from 2016 to 2021. In this capacity, he has organized numerous faculty development programs for colleges, university teachers, 20 of them as a course coordinator. Professor Geer has published 51 research papers and presented 42 papers in various national and international conferences. He and his research team has won 5 Best Paper Awards in various conferences and journals. He has delivered 140 extension lectures on various topics outside his department besides publishing 150 popular articles in print media. He is a peer review member and editorial board member of several highly reputed national and international journals and has reviewed numerous papers for the same. Professor Geer has also been appointed as members expert committee on antibiotic utilization under National Drug Utilization Evaluation Program of India by the ICMR, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, New Delhi. He has also been appointed as advisor to the Price Monitoring and Resource Unit PMRU of the Drugs and Food Control Organization Jammu and Kashmir. With the due approval of National Pharmaceutical Pricing Authority of India and also been appointed as a member of the PG Curriculum Committee of the PCI in New Delhi. Professor Geer has supervised many postgraduate and doctorate research scholars. Professor Geer has served as member of the IEC, SKMS, GMC Srinagar and RRIUM Srinagar earlier and has been established as an peer reviewer by the National Assessment Accreditation Council, that is NAC, Bengaluru. He has also been appointed as nominee CCSEA Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairying DAHD, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, Government of India. With his brief bio sketch, I would like to call upon Professor Geer sir onto the stage. And sir, you please start sharing your screen. And once again, on behalf of ISFCP, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Saurabh Kose for inviting me to deliberate on national education policy. And many thanks to the organizers, IQAC team of ISF College of Pharmacy, Moga, for extending this invitation to me. I am really indebted to all of you. I hope the students will benefit from today's discussion. And my discussion will be revolving around because we have just completed 3 years of the completion of the national education policy. National education policy, as you all know, was notified on July 29, 3 years back. And on July 29, that is only 2 days back, we have completed 3 years of this policy. And this is a revolutionary policy which has been notified by the government of India. And this is a policy which has been brought out after 34 years because previous policy was promulgated in the year 1986, which was amended once in 1992. And after that, this policy has come after 34 years. And this is the first national education policy of the whole world in during 21st century, the present century. This is the first national education policy which has been brought out, a very promising, very revolutionary, transformative policy which seeks to bring paradigm changes, paradigm shifts in all spheres of higher education, whether it is the infrastructure development, whether it is the curricular development, whether it is the innovative teaching pedagogies, whether we talk about the overall innovation incubation scenario, entrepreneurship development, research, extension, consultancy, and many other spheres. It seeks to bring revolutionary changes in all the spheres of higher education, and that's where what I thought it'll be prudent to discuss in today's session. The what are the kinds of changes that have been brought out in this policy, and to what extent we have been able to implement this policy on ground. What are the various accomplishments, achievements so far, and what are the challenges ahead? What are the pros and cons of implementing it successfully in days to come? And particularly, what will be its impact on pharmacy, on pharmaceutical sciences field? So I thought that these are some of the issues which we would like to discuss. And the basic idea behind bringing this policy, for that to understand, I would like to quote Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, who said, "A life of joy and happiness is possible only on the basis of knowledge and science." And some other great leader has also said that destiny of a nation is shaped in its classrooms. Similarly, Nelson Mandela has said that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And when we read the idea of a university by John Henry Newman, it says that a university is a place where students come from every quarter for every kind of knowledge, a place for the communication and circulation of a thought, a place where inquiry is pushed forward, discoveries are verified, and errors are exposed. So, national education policy seeks to bring dramatic, radical, transformative changes in all these spheres so as to develop good human beings who are capable of rational thought and action, who possess compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper, and creative imagination. This policy seeks to bring out all-round personals, all-round personalities. It seeks to affect not only the personality but also the character, the knowledge, the information, and also the impact of the people. So we seek to bring out, and we are trying to produce very contributing, engaging, inclusive kind of people who could contribute towards the progress of the nation. And this policy covers all important aspects of higher education, whether we talk about quality, excellence, relevance, access, equity, inclusion, affordability, or accountability. Everything is covered. And all the three pillars of higher education, that is a student who is taught, a teacher who teaches, and the curriculum which is taught. All three of them are going to be affected, impacted by this policy. And how the things are taught also is going to be impacted drastically. So when we look, before we get into the actual impact, what we have been able to achieve so far and what are the challenges ahead, how it is going to affect the pharmacy education, I would quickly recapitulate what are the major highlights of national education policy. First is it brings out flexibility. Now we do not own a student anymore. We do not say that this student belongs to this university. A student is free to move from one university to another university, earn some credits in one university, other credits in another university. So it is a universal education now. That is, student is universal. It doesn't belong to any one particular university. Yeah, it may hold good for some time for the private universities, but so far as government universities are concerned, there is flexibility because there is multiple entry, multiple exit. A student can enter many times or leave many times the same institution whenever he wants. There is both vertical as well as horizontal mobility. A student can move vertically in his own, as per his own whims and choices. That is, if he wants to take a particular subject in first semester, in third semester he wants to change, and then fourth semester he wants to go somewhere else, vertical mobility is possible. Similarly, horizontal mobility is also possible in terms of the subject combinations. And there is also a possibility of mid-term course correction. That is, certainly if somebody wants to change his major into minor, or he wants to swap his major into minor, it is possible in his third semester, he can change his major with the minor. Then there is academic bank of credits, wherein all the credits get accumulated, deposited, and once the required number of credits are achieved by the student, he gets the degree. After 1 year of completion of his degree program, he will get a certificate. After 2 years, he will get a diploma. After 3 years, an advanced diploma. And after 4 years, he will get a full-fledged degree. That degree could be with research or with honors. And then there is provision for multidisciplinary and holistic education, in that you don't have to teach students only pharmacy. He will also be taught something about universal human values, something about communication skills, something about IT proficiency, computer knowledge, something about other streams of knowledge like humanities, social sciences. Like we have the social pharmacies coming up these days, and many people are opting for social pharmacy. So multidisciplinary education will become possible, and this will become possible in pharmacy also. It is not we are talking in general terms. I'll be more focused towards pharmacy, because every stream, whether it is IIT, IIM, every standalone institution has to adopt the national education policy sooner or later, and there is no escaping out, no going out. We have to adopt the curriculum as per the new education policy. So in pharmacy, we also have to adopt this model. That is, we should be in a position to award the certificate after 1 year of completion. After 2 years, we should be able to award a diploma in pharmacy. After 3 years, an advanced diploma in pharmacy, and after 4 years, a B Pharma or a degree in pharmacy, we should be able to award. And in that curriculum, which we are running at present as per the education regulations of 2014, new education regulations have to be framed by the Pharmacy Council of India, wherein they have to incorporate papers on multidisciplinary education. They have to incorporate papers on the value added papers. Papers have to be there. Then there have to be multidisciplinary paper has to be there, and there have to be papers from other streams also. So already we have, as per the present education regulations, that allows in 8th semester there is a basket of papers which are open elective, that is a person can choose, which are optional, and there are 8 papers available there. Out of those 8, one has to choose any 2. But we can increase the size of the basket, we can add more courses to this basket, so that the student is able to choose more. So we can have minor papers, where from the student can choose, and he can have a minor in computers, or minor in communication skills, minor in industry based subject, or field based, community based subject. So there will be actually no distinction between academic and vocational, these courses. There will be no distinction between curricular, extracurricular, and extracurricular courses, co-curricular and extracurricular courses. And this rote learning will be replaced by conceptual understanding, competency-based evaluation. The examination and evaluation system will altogether change, and it will be purely based on competencies, purely based on learning outcomes, objectives of the education. So the learning methodology will also change. It will be now experiential learning, field-based learning, project-based, problem-based, industry-based. There will be more of practical exposure, and workshop-oriented, technical-oriented learning will be there. More and more of projects will be given. Team-based learning will be promoted, and all the learning in education will be outcome-oriented, course outcome, program-specific outcomes. So the objectives, the outcomes have to be outlined in the beginning itself, and then we have to map them to what extent we have been able to achieve those objectives. So when we look at the level of achievements that have been done so far, accomplishments that have been made so far in terms of implementation of the policy, Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, other day, while addressing the Shiksha Samagam, he said that we want India to become the nursery of new ideas, new knowledge, new technologies. And these new technologies will be adopted by rest of the world. These ideas will be emulated by rest of the world. So he said that we want India to be a nursery of new ideas, new ideologies, new technologies. And for this to happen, the Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, which is going on, he said that by the year 2047, by the when we'll be having a Viksit Bharat. So we need to work towards making India completely self-reliant, Atmanirbhar Bharat, so that we are able to, everything is made in India, and we are able to give back to the world. And world takes ideas and technologies from us. So that is the main concept. The traditional knowledge system has to be promoted. Our languages, culture, and heritage has to be promoted. And ancient, age-old Indian knowledge system has to be propagated throughout the world. That is the idea behind launching this policy. And I feel glad to tell you all that in terms of this academic bank of credits, we have made some progress. The National Academic Depository has been established. DigiLocker has been established. Now there are more than 5 crore awards available in DigiLocker, and more than almost 2,000 educational institutions have registered themselves with the NAD. So more and more educational institutions are registering with the NAD and depositing their academic awards credentials, so that it becomes very easy to retrieve those awards, to verify them, to redeem them, to use them for any other purpose. We don't have to get it physically verified from the institution. Once it is deposited in the DigiLocker, it will be auto verified, and then we can use it anywhere in the world. So more and more, institutions are getting networked and connected as a result of this NAD and DigiLocker, and credit transfer is becoming a reality. So very soon, the credits will be in a position to transfer the credits. Now, looking what have we been able to achieve over the past 3 years? Over the past 3 years, though it took some time to understand the policy, and initially, it took some time for the institutions to comprehend the policy, what this policy is all about, what are its various provisions. And then they started jotting down their action plans, writing down their action plans, because this is not a policy which is to be implemented, say, in 1 or 2 years or 3 years. It's a long-term policy. For example, the policy envisages to have a gross enrollment ratio of 50% by the year 2035. So you have plenty of time to have that gross enrollment ratio till 2035. Similarly, all affiliated colleges have to become autonomous, or they have to become part of a cluster. And that, again, there is a 15-year time for that. So there is no hurry. You don't have to do it in 2 or 3 years. But there are certain goals which have been fixed as short-term goals, certain goals have been fixed as mid-term goals, and certain goals have been fixed as long-term goals. So over the past 3 years, the institutions, I have been this peer team member of the NAC, and have been visiting various universities across India for assessment and accreditation purpose on behalf of NAC. And during those visits, I have observed that institutions have made considerable progress towards the implementation of national education policy. For example, the government universities, and they have developed the action plans, the institutional development plans, and they have fixed their targets over the next 5 years, 10 years, and they have fixed the timelines for achieving those targets. They have assigned the respective roles and responsibilities to all the stakeholders. So that is what needs to be done. And for example, in Jammu and Kashmir, this was among the first union territory or the first state in India which implemented the national education policy last year itself. Last year, we immediately adopted the draft curriculum credit framework devised by UGC, and we adopted it in all our courses. And whereas the final notification of the credit-based curriculum framework was notified by UGC in December. So now we are aligning it with the final notification. So this time our students are going into third semester. Admissions have been made as per the new education policy last year. Now the students are going into their third semester. So UT of Jammu and Kashmir was the first among all the states and UTs to implement national education policy, and our university also was among the first universities to start implementing national education policy. Now, I know most of the students attending this session, the audience, might be more interested to know what will change in pharmacy, how it will impact pharmacy, and what new things will come up. So I think it is high time for the Pharmacy Council of India to take a call, frame new education regulations in tune with the national education policy, and we have to adopt the models devised at the national level. That is, we have to make all the things possible: the award of diploma after 1 year, certificate after 1 year, diploma after 2 years, advanced diploma after 3 years, and degree after 4 years. And then we have, the new policy says the research can be done in the 4th year. We also have to allow it. New policy says that master's degree program will be either of 1 or 2 years duration. 1 year if you have done undergraduation of 4 years, 2 years duration if you have done undergraduation for 3 years. So if you have done UG for 3 years, then 3 plus 2. If you have done UG for 4 years, then 4 plus 1. And then if you have done UG for 4 years with research, then you can get direct admission in PhD. and there will be no MPhil. So this model has to be adopted in the pharmacy also. We have to incorporate multidisciplinary subjects, multidisciplinary papers. We have to provide baskets. We have to do the adopt the major minor system, a major sub. So there will be minors which will be from other disciplines. For example, as I counted some of them, we can have courses in languages, in IT proficiency, computer-based courses. We can have social science-based courses in economics. For example, in pharmacy, we teach pharmacoeconomics. So it is good to have a minor in economics. Similarly, we teach pharmacoepidemiology. So it is good to have a minor in this epidemiology or social and preventive medicine or social and preventive pharmacy. Similarly, we need to adopt, several papers from other streams and have a model in place. But for this, the new education regulations have to be brought in, and then we need to make the pharmacy education industry oriented. We need to make it entrepreneurship oriented, so that as of now we are providing training. We're not concentrating on making students as new entrepreneurs, developing them as entrepreneurs who would be in a position to start their own industry, start their own businesses, start their own manufacturing. So we need to promote it, because we need to have more and more field-based activity, industry-based activity, project-based activity. More and more internships, fellowships, scholarships have to be given, and more innovation of new ideas has to be done. Incubation of new ideas has to be done. Suppose somebody is working on a new formulation, a new method of analysis, or new method, new technology. We have to develop that idea, incubate that idea, and translate it into a new design and a new technology. So students have to be motivated, they have to be inspired to be critical, to be analytical, and to have creative thinking, so that they can get new ideas which can be translated, which can be seeded, incubated, and which can be transformed into a full-fledged technology. And then more and more of industry visits have to be arranged. We have to give more internship at an earlier stage. And then there has to be a bifurcation in the final year of BPharm. That is, one should be having an option either to go towards the clinical side, the hospital side, or towards the industrial side. So those students who want to work in hospital settings, in clinical settings, their entire fourth year should be devoted towards clinical side. And those who want to go towards the industry, work in industry, in the departments of research and development, production, quality control, packaging, etc., marketing. So they should have the opportunity to devote more time in industry in their fourth year. So there should be this deviation, this bifurcation happening in final year, so that some students opt for clinical and hospital settings, other students go for industrial orientation, and they devote more and more time in actual learning. To see, when today we are producing pharmacists who know everything, who have good credentials, good marks, but they have very little practical exposure. When they go to the industry for industrial training, they don't know anything, how to operate those equipments, how to operate these mesh coating machines, or capsule filling machines, or this injectable sealing machines and all. Though they have preliminary exposure, but the industry level, industry size equipment, they are not able to handle, validate, standardize, and they are not able to work around the clock. So they get that exposure only during the industrial training. But more and more such exposure is needed, hands-on experience is needed, so that more practical skills and competencies are imparted to the students, and they become, because today's industry needs people who are having skills, the right kind of skill sets as well as the right kind of mindsets. That is what national education policy wants to instill in the students, the right kind of skill sets as well as the right kind of mindsets. So they should be in a position to handle all the equipments, whether it is UV spectroscopy or IR or GCMS or LCMS. They should be in a position to handle all the equipments. They should be able in a position to handle all the manufacturing equipments, research and development equipments, quality control equipments. That is the kind of skill which we can impart to our students, so that they become industry ready. Because nowadays, job markets are asking for skills and competencies. They want people who would contribute to the industry. They don't want to give employment just because to help you, or they want to give it in charity. Nobody is there to give anything out in charity. Only when you are useful to them, only when you are able to contribute to them, build their industry, build their company, then only they will take you up. So we need to work towards building those kind of skill sets, competencies, capabilities among our students, so that they will become job ready. Because after COVID-19, the job markets have sunk drastically. And now the industry is looking for those people. See, I am the director of a Center for Career Planning and Counseling. We conduct recruitment drives over here, campus placements over here. So though we have the students who have very good credentials, very good marks in their own respective fields, whether it is engineering, pharmacy, computer sciences, or management, but when it comes to the interviews, so most of them are not able to make it. Either they do not have the good communication skills, or they are not able to have good interpersonal work skills, life skills, or they don't have basic foundational skills. They don't have good IT proficiency. So this is what we need to focus upon: building those foundational skills, interpersonal life skills, work skills, communication skills, so that they become industry ready. Because now many companies are shifting towards the online platforms. So we need to have staff. Only last year we had around 50, 60 students who got appointed as drug safety associates. So they were given some kind of preliminary training how to work online from home as a pharmacovigilance associate. So these kinds of programs and trainings need to be incorporated in our curriculum, practical hands-on sessions, and we need to make them industry ready. We need to make them job market ready. So that is what policy intends to do. That's what national education policy. There are a lot of many other achievements in terms of national education policy, so which have been achieved. So again, I will go back to the previous slide of my presentation, and I will again share that slide back. So in that, I'll show you what are the other achievements which have been made so far as the implementation of the national education policy. But yes, of course, there are a lot more challenges ahead, because we are still in the initial few stages of the policy. We are still in the initial phases of implementation of the policy. Though we have been able to, in many universities, we have been able to establish the academic, this national academic depository. The DigiLocker registration has been done, and also the syllabus has been devised for first 2 or 3 semesters, as well the new education policy, which will allow multiple entry, multiple exit, and midterm course correction. And also the major minor concept has been brought in, experiential learning problem. Now the examination and evaluation system has to drastically change. It has to be competency based. The moment a student says that I have achieved this learning outcome, I am ready for the examination, we should be in a position to examine him. No, he doesn't have to wait for the end semester examination. He doesn't have to wait for the internal examination. Whenever a student says, these are where the learning outcomes of this particular paper, I have achieved these learning outcomes, the teacher should immediately assess and evaluate him. So he doesn't have to burn his midnight oil and stay awake whole night, learning those rote learning, and memorizing those contents. So but the moment he has achieved those competencies and skills, and the learning outcomes have been achieved, immediately the teacher will evaluate him on a continuous basis. So it envisages continuous assessment over end term assessment, and immediate, so he doesn't have to wait till end. So in terms of skill enhancement, good achievements have been done. India has become a startup hub of the world, whereas in 2016 there were only some less than 500 startups in India. Today we have more than 86,000 startups in India. So right since 2016, we have a dramatic change has been witnessed in terms of startups. Same is the case with the number of patents, which has radically changed. Earlier we had only few thousand patents, now they are in lakhs. And gradually we are shifting from formative to continuous assessment. We are giving equal attention to slow learners and fast learners. That is, slow learners are given additional classes, additional hours. Fast learners are motivated, inspired, and encouraged. And then there is mentor-mentee relationship. Every institution is building a mentorship program, alumni program, wherein the alumni are roped in, and they are told to mentor the existing students. And teachers are also acting as these mentors, and they are mentoring those students who are slow learners or fast learners, or who have some special needs, for example career guidance, psychological counseling, and any other need they have. So this kind of atmosphere has been built in the country. That is, we are focusing more on this outcome based learning. Mentorship programs are there. Community outreach extension activities are being undertaken. We are going to the field. Institutions are adopting the villages. Then they are extending the health camps, blood donation camps, awareness camps are being organized, so that community outreach is enhancing. Industry orientation is increasing. Number of internships are increasing. Duration of internship is increasing, and the entrepreneurship on the whole is getting a boost. And then there we are adopting a cafeteria based model, that is the credit based choice system, open, wherein we have the open electives, generic electives, the scholarships and fellowships are being offered. So that way we are making a considerable progress throughout the country. But then there are challenges also. So this was about the accomplishments. We have done these accomplishments in the country, but at the same time there are a whole lot of challenges. That is, for example, let us take the private colleges, private universities. Suppose a student takes admission in a private college, he deposits a certain amount of fee. Then it is not very easy to shift him to some other college and allow him to get some more credits from some other private college. So they have to work out on the modalities how it will be done. So the fee may be charged by private colleges on the basis of per credit, and that has to be nominal. It cannot be exhaustive or very exorbitant. So this exorbitant fee doesn't have to be charged. So this credit transfer between private colleges has to be worked out. Between government institutions and government universities, it's not a big problem. It will be easily worked out because Academic Bank of Credit is there, DigiLocker is there, NAD is working on it. But for private colleges, a different scheme and different structure has to be devised. And then similarly, there are, in pharmacy we cannot make it a complete transformation. That is, in general undergraduate level, a whole lot of things are possible. That is, one can take a major in sciences and a minor in social sciences, or a major in arts and humanities and a minor in some other commerce and management. But here in pharmacy, it is a professional course. So the number of options are limited because the required skill sets have to be incorporated within the specified period of time. And because in order to develop him as a pharmacist, he has to have those basic skills. So we cannot compromise with the basic course structure, the basic skills and competencies that have to be imparted to the students. But we can make value additions, we can make add-on courses which will make him a holistic, all-rounded individual, which will allow the multidisciplinary education, and which will also allow the credit transfer, multiple entry, multiple exit. And for that to happen, the biggest challenge is that new education regulations have to be brought out by the Pharmacy Council of India, and they have to allow award of diploma after 2 years or award of degree after 4 years. And then we have to devise this course structure, how we will be able to start research. See, there has always been a demand by the undergraduate students to have some exposure towards research in the UG itself, because they should have some basic understanding of research methodology, research ethics in the UG itself, undergraduate level. So that when they go to the post graduation, they'll be in a position to take up a research project and follow those norms of research ethics, scientific communication, scientific writing, and research methodology. So that can be done. Then they can switch over to this. This will enhance the quality of research in PhD, because when a student already is aware of research methodology, research ethics, scientific writing, and scientific communication, he will evolve as a better researcher in his PhD program. The quality of research will improve drastically. So with it, in order to sum it up, if I have to sum it up, I would say that in times to come, the affordability and accessibility of education is going to increase. The quality of research is going to increase. Quality of education is going to increase. And then there will be a lot of flexibility. Students will not be bound at one place in one university or one classroom. They'll be free to move around and make their own choices. They'll be able to freely move around vertically as well as horizontally. They'll be in a position to do course correction, midterm course correction, and then they will be free to show the kind of skills which they have achieved and get evaluated immediately. They don't have to rote learning and they don't have to memorize things and then put it in paper and these long subjective type answers. So this whole idea of education, which I narrated in the beginning, that is to, the history, the destiny of a nation is written in the classroom. That becomes possible only when we promote the right kind of thinking, ideology, right kind of mindset, competency. And when we allow the students to have the creative thinking, questioning, and they are given a free atmosphere, free ambience to do analytical thinking, to split up things into smaller fractions, and then devise the methodologies to build new ideas. So all those things will become possible in accordance with the new education policy. All that the educational institutions have to do is that they have to devise an institutional development plan. In that institutional development plan, they have to see what are the existing needs and demands. They have to adopt a bottom-up approach. That is, they have to do brainstorming at the departmental level and see what are the needs for the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. and accordingly, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of manpower, in terms of curricular design, in terms of course structure, everything, and everything has to be revisited, revised, and revamped, restructured in accordance with the new education policy. And this institutional development plan, we need to have fixed timelines, fixed targets, fixed indicators, and then we need to assign the roles and responsibilities among all the stakeholders so that everything is done on time. Earlier government of India had thought that we'll be able to achieve this 50% of GDP gross enrollment ratio by the year 2035, but going by the pace of the policy and the new innovativeness which is embedded in the policy, it is believed that we'll be able to achieve that target ahead of 2035. Even before 2035, that target will be achieved. So it is high time for the pharmacy institutions, pharmacy universities, to align themselves with the new education policy, to gear up and face the new challenges. We should not shy away from the new policy. It has been a trend which I have observed, that pharmacy people are trying to shy away, escape out from the new policy, and try to be in their own cocoon. So we need to break those compartments. We need to break these shells, and we need to come out and mingle up and mix up, so that a pharmacy student should also have a good knowledge. See, pharmacy itself is a multidisciplinary subject. It itself is a multidisciplinary stream, because in pharmacy we are not taught any one subject. Unlike, let us say, a student of physics or a student of chemistry. A student of physics will throughout his life learn only physics. A chemistry student would learn only chemistry. But in pharmacy, we are taught pharmaceutical chemistry, we are taught biology, we are taught pharmacology, management, we are taught marketing, we have to learn the engineering, pharmaceutical engineering. We have to learn the medicinal plants. We have to learn the hospital, clinical pharmacy, industrial pharmacy. So pharmacy itself is a multidisciplinary field, in which already we are taught 35 papers during 4 years. Already there are a whole lot of multidisciplinary subjects embedded in it. So all we need to do is we need to expand further. We need to adopt and align ourselves in tune with the requirements, needs, and demands of the national education policy. And I'm sure with our leaders on top, in the Pharmacy Council of India, we have dynamic leadership. In the AICTE, anyway, the AICTE role is decreasing now, but at UGC, at this APT, we have the good kind of dynamic, vibrant leadership who have huge experience at their back, and they have the required expertise to make it happen. But all we need is just brainstorming, and we need to pool our efforts in this direction. So I think that with that, I would sum up today's session on what we have achieved and what are the challenges ahead for national education policy. In case there are any questions, I'll be happy to take. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. It was a very enlightening talk touching all the newer aspect of pharmacy education as per new education policy. Definitely, sir, our audience will come up with the questions. As till now, the session was very informative. None of the audience have raised any query. I welcome Dr. G.D. Gupta, sir, also. He is, sir, with us. Sir, I request you to please.
Good evening, sir.
Sir, good evening and welcome, sir.
Good evening. Thank you, sir.
So, sir, just we have finished the session, sir.
First of all, I am very, very thankful today's expert speaker, and I know that he is the very, very dynamic and experienced personality among us. So obviously, in those days, NEP is doing the very fast track job role, and hopefully, Pharmacy Council of India is also doing the work on the NEP, because I know that this is the implemented in the so many programs. But in pharma education, there is the two parts. One is the university as well as the Pharmacy Council of India. Multiple program, multiple exit and multiple entry point is the also. So difficulty over here, the admission and so many things. So you have covered each and every point. I hope that in the coming days, like you of the expert, they will give the excellent innovative ideas so that council do the excellent job for the framing of the NEP like of the program, because number of the meeting and number of the lecture I have attended up to the school level, and for the higher education, they have to the doing the good job. But in the pharmacy profession, there is the number of the limitations. Number of the limitation, let us consider, one is the diploma pharmacy, after that the B Pharm, M Pharm, there is the slot procedure. So the private system, they are the working how many seat we can the allot in the particular program, if we can implement it like that. So credit based system, some of the bodies, some of the expert, I am also one of the member in IKG-PTU doing the work in the NEP. And I hope that your talk and like your experience, it will be the beneficial to each and everybody. So I am again thankful, sir, you, and thankful to the coordinator, Dr. Koseji, thankful to our IQAC team, Dr. Siddharth Mehanji. So, sir, just I want to take only 1 minute. This IQAC team doing the work to involve some of the expert like you, so that person they can be involved to each other. Let us consider if we need the more information on the NEP like that, I will connect to you in the same way. Number of the young budding scientists, they have given the excellent idea, some of the software training, sometimes they have given of the dosage form design, analytical method, evaluation related to the clinical study. So many things they have the given. So from the India, abroad, research institution, as well as industry. So each and everybody they have given good ideas and the things over here. So the purpose behind of this to connect the more and more people, so that we can come to know that in which direction we can grow our profession. So thank you very much, sir. You are one of the given your precious time for this activity and for this talk. And this talk, it will be the available on the YouTube channel, and number of the audience they will take the benefit of this. You can say your talk as well as your what you have given during your talk. Thank you very
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, respected sir. On behalf of IQAC ISF College of Pharmacy, once again, I'm thankful to you, sir. You have taken your busy time from really busy schedule, and I invite you, sir, once again on the ISFCP platform on this topic. And in future also in pharmacy practice, we would be taking, sir, your guidance and suggestions in the series. Thank you once again, sir, for joining.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. It will be my pleasure to be of any help, of any assistance to ISF Moga. And whenever you would need my services at any occasion, I'll be happy to deliver my services. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you, Mr. Ankur ji.
थैंक यू सर जी, चरण स्पर्श सर।
God bless you.
नमस्ते
God
सर, गिर
bless.
सर।
जी जी, नमस्ते नमस्ते।
नमस्ते सौरभ सर, नमस्कार।
Namaskar, Ankur
नमस्कार
sir.
सर। मेहन सर, नमस्कार।
सर नमस्ते।
गुड इवनिंग सर।
बहुत बढ़िया लग रहा है सर। मतलब गुप्ता सर को तो सर चरणवत प्रणाम है मेरा, और आपको भी सर, गिर सर को भी प्रणाम है मेरा। और ये लेक्चर सीरीज काफी